Welcome back to Across the Glass Sea. This is a live play Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition podcast. I am your Dungeon Master, Nathaniel Miller. I'm joined in studio by...
Ben Gilbreth playing Tamarian, Come Sail Away, Narsilay.
Nice. I'm also joined by...
Michael Mazul playing Captain Lichen, i.e. Thalamule.
How about a recap? Last time in Tyroa, our heroes, having made contact with Admiral Cassian, were immediately waylaid by bounty hunters. The Admiralty had sent assassins and bounty hunters after her, and they caught up with you guys in the sewers. You had a fierce battle with them, where all of your enemies were killed except for one, but he escaped. After knocking the two of you unconscious, you awoke to Burgen and Admiral Cassian reviving you. As you tried to escape, you dodged patrols. You discovered that you made your escape, but with great cost, as Burgen's cauldron was missing.
It's like the name of a movie, Burgen's Cauldron.
Burgen's Cauldron, coming 2025.
That should be the restaurant he opens up.
Starring Keanu Reeves.
As Burgen.
As Burgen. That's canon now.
Keanu Reeves exists.
Keanu Reeves is playing Burgen.
He's definitely listening to this.
You guys escaped to your ship to lick your wounds, and you decided to sail out of Hermida to avoid suspicion, to avoid more pressure from the authorities. You made your way to the village of Vasra, which is sort of a day's journey up the coast from Hermida. And on the way there, you stashed the Admiral inside this magic mirror that you guys had discovered. And you sailed off to the village of Vasra to try to uncover the mysteries of what has been happening in this part of the world. And on the way, Lichen had a vision of naval combat, of mystery, as he begins to unravel things that are going on in his own life. Who knows what you will find across the glass sea?
That episode is one that, having listened to so many times, I think we have probably talked about it the most. Just such regret.
I could have done so many other things.
Changed.
I still
so
had a
much.
spell slide,
and we don't even know the mercenary's name. We have nothing to go on.
we have the cauldron.
We have a cauldron, and at some point I will get locate object.
Yeah.
No, I have locate. Didn't think of that. It's not prepared, but I have locate object.
We had to get out of Dodge. I mean, there's also one, we don't need to talk about it for too much longer, but there's one point where Nathaniel made a roll over there too and made us make perceptions. And I was like, would we have run into him? Would we have run into him? But we didn't roll well enough.
Yeah, I'll just say...
Don't say.
On
You
this
don't
side
need
of
to.
the screen, most of the times the rolls did not go in y'all's favor. So I'll just say that. But we arrive in Tyroa looking at the White Wake, y'all's ship, as it floats across the surface of the sea, pulling into the harbor of Vasra. Vasra is a small village. There is probably 20 or so fishing vessels. Most of them are not even docked. They're just pulled up on the sand. There is a dock here, a small jetty that sticks out into the water, and you see a hamlet of, you would guesstimate about 500 people live here. There's probably between 30 and 40 houses, and you see 2 buildings made of stone, as well as one building that is sort of set along right on the base of the dock that goes out. You also see hills rising up behind the village, and you see a dirt track that heads off into them behind. So you guys are pulling into the village as the sun is rising. You've slept through the night, you have a long rest, and you awake.
Back to... I've not had full hit points in a very long time.
Yeah, same.
So, we're here. Well, Captain, first of all, do we want to just shrink the boat and just carry it? I mean, who cares what they've seen? They won't be able to find us anymore? Or do we want to leave our ship docked here? Do we want to make ourselves traceable. And, this is a few days' journey overland from Hormida, but at the same time, a big white ship with a white tiefling and a bunch of wood elves getting off of it might eventually be noticed. And if we've got the boat with us, if it's shrunk, at least we know where we've got it and we can just bushwhack across the land and throw it in the ocean somewhere else and get back off.
Yeah. Give me a second. I'm still waking up.
Oh, are you not a morning person?
Nah, I actually usually am. I just had a difficult dream last night is all.
I've been up for about 4 hours.
Just give me a second and
Sure.
I jump overboard.
What? The fact that that's normal
You guys
is not normal.
As like in the instant that you're jumping overboard, you see Burgen coming up from the galley with a tray of bowls of oatmeal. As he sees you disappear on the other side, he just takes one of the bowls off and puts it down below. You break the surface of the ocean, and it is cold in this early morning light. The water is dark. It is thick with sediment and dirt. You can see that there are strands of kelp and seaweed floating around, being pulled to and fro by the waves. Is there anything in particular that you'd like to look for?
I'm just waking up.
You're just waking up?
And swimming along.
Make a perception check.
I'll take a gander real quick, but that one.
Okay. And
Yeah.
we're back.
Good start.
It just looks like ocean. You see a few lobster traps off in the distance. This is clearly an area that is fished.
I'll climb my way back on board, and as I pull myself to the, actually over the railing, all the water flecks off, and I'm completely dry as I use prestidigitation to just dry and clean myself completely.
Nice. Does the water just disappear, or do you flick it onto the ground in your surroundings like a dog?
It's almost like water cannot cling to me.
I see.
And so all the water just slowly falls off, and then I'm perfectly dry.
Sweet. You see Burgen with a steaming bowl of oatmeal, kind of shielding it from the water. Doesn't want it to be contaminated with salt water. Good morning, mates. Just spent the night thinking a little bit about my cauldron, and just want you to know that though I am not happy about the outcome of the events of yesterday, I will soldier on and continue performing my duties as a chef and fellow adventuring partner.
Tam just walks forward and just squeezes his shoulder. We can expect no more from you.
That's correct. I'm quite angry. Livid, as my parents would say.
Lichen walks up, puts his hand on his other shoulder, and just let that anger fuel you. We will get it back. I
All right.
will ask more of you.
Yes. Okay. Yes. All right. Well. I'm fired up. Let's do it. Let's go. I'm going to try a new recipe, perhaps. Something spicy.
Now, I know it might be too soon, but I gotta ask, do you want a different new cauldron?
Well, the one I have is pretty special. Perhaps I could have a new cauldron, and then we could recover the old one, and then I could have two good cauldrons. Perhaps.
That sounds perfectly fine to me.
We were able to recover quite a bit of gold. A large bit of it was taken, but we still came out, 1,000 gold in the positive. So I'd be more than willing to give you a bit for your cauldron, mate.
I'll look at Tam and just be like, all right, now that I've had my morning dip, so we're about to dock. There was a mine here that we wanted to check out, right? Because Lady Cassian said there might be some things associated with the blackmail or something.
Yeah, she thinks that there might be evidence.
I'm fine to go ashore. I think some of the crew might even appreciate a little bit of time on land for a bit here, especially considering we don't fully know our next steps.
Unless she has very specific things that she wants done. Listen, we're helping you. This is how we're helping you right now, so you're just going to have to be okay with it. Or not, and then we can, on our terms, you can deal with that.
You would surmise from your conversations with her thus far that she's like, y'all have saved my life. I trust you guys for now. I'm going to go along with... it's safer with you guys than,
Right.
hiding in...
We're definitely the lesser of two evils at this
Yes.
point. Gotcha. So yeah, let's just say everybody off the boat.
Yeah.
Cool. Are you guys on the deck right now?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Make perception checks for me.
Natural one.
No, different dice or same dice?
Same dice, man.
Dude.
It was rolling so good a second ago.
You have advantage because of your
I do.
You need that. You need
Right,
this.
because it's sight.
Yep, it's
You know
based
what?
on sight.
Let's use this guy.
I got a 16 while he's advantaging.
With a 16.
I got a 16 as well.
With a
Nice.
16, you both notice a couple things. One, in the light, you can see the 3 kind of more distinct buildings. There's a ton of huts. All the houses here are like huts. They're not particularly well made. The 3 buildings that are distinct from the huts, there is a long, low building that has a wooden arch, and at the crest of the arch, hanging out or sort of jutting out from the top, is a trident. There is a stone building. It's the only building made of stone in the town that has a dome on the top. Everything's like on one road, most of which is facing the ocean, so you can see all these things. Over the doorway, there is a sort of bronze sort of plate in the shape of a circle that it looks like there's a stylized whirlpool set into it. And then there's a wooden building at the base of the dock, at the pier as it stretches out into the ocean. You see some activity there, and it seems that you see the flag of the Admiralty there. It looks like that's the harbor master, his office. The other thing with the 16 that you notice is like both of you notice this for different reasons. It's kind of weird that all of the fishing ships are pulled up on the beach right now. Early morning's kind of like one of the primo times to go fishing. Like nobody's fishing right now. And the town looks really empty. The fishermen, it seems, are not working today, or something else is going on. It's very quiet.
Tam, you notice anything a little off right now about this town, actually?
Well, there's no people. There's no town. There's buildings and there's boats. This is weird.
You think Lady Cassia knows anything about this?
I think it might be best if we leave her in safekeeping for a bit longer, and just maybe you and me go, or you, me, and Sel or Penelope or whoever will go check it out and see. Because again, if nobody ever sees her, she was never here.
Yeah. Based on what I'm seeing, I think we just dock.
Yeah, on the pier. Works for me.
I don't see anyone right now.
Yeah.
Do now that this is.
There are
if
people.
I look.
There are people. Okay.
There's people, but it's like, huddled figure here, figure there. Very few people, less people than you would expect of a village of this size, especially working along the dock or the seashore.
I'll draw my bow and say, I'll go Overwatch. You go see who's.
All right, you keep Overwatch. I'll go check out this the dock master's house real quick. See if anything strange has been happening. If he'll loosen his tongue for me a little bit.
So your crew helps you dock at the pier, and you start tying up the boat and everything. And as you're disembarking to go and walk up to the harbor master's office, you see a short man with like pince-nez glasses scuttling along the pier towards you guys. He's a human man, but the way that he moves, you're like, he's kind of scuttling right now, not really walking. And he comes up and says, hello, my name is Harbor Master Enoch Sanchez, and I'm afraid it's 2 gold to tie a boat up at the dock here.
Don't be afraid of that, Mr. Sanchez. I'm happy to oblige.
And may I have your name, sir? And I will have to inspect your cargo to make sure it is within all rules and regulations of the Admiralty's Dictates on Trade, volumes 7 through 21.
Is that a new charter? Is that a new dictation by
It
them?
was laid down 50 years ago by the High Admiral Council.
Oh, of course. Oh, that one. Yes.
Yes, there are many volumes, so I understand if it may have slipped your mind before, good captain. But
Well, here you go. I don't. Is it just 2 gold for the one night? How long do we get with that?
yes, typically it is actually a 48-hour period.
Oh, okay. So 1 gold per day then.
Yes, but typically most vessels stay for 2 days.
Got you. Okay, here you go. Here's your 2 gold.
Thank you. He whips out a little pocket scale, and he puts each gold on. He takes it off, puts the other gold on, takes it off. He's like, yes, but everything seems to be in order, and he puts in a little pouch.
Why wouldn't it be?
And then he pulls out a roll, and he starts like marking down little like tallies in a column, and he sort of mutters to himself numbers, and then he's like, yes, of course, no reason. It's just good to check on these things.
Yes, of course. Now, Mr. Sanchez, if you don't mind, I couldn't help but notice I eat quite a bit of fish, and I couldn't help but notice that not
Indeed,
a lot of your...
It's our primary export.
I know, it's delicious. That and onions, right?
Well, onions are grown mostly down near Hermida, and our secondary export would actually be the ores that are mined up in the Vasra mines up in the hills.
Is that where most of the people are right now? Are they up in the mines?
Oh, no. I'm not sure where they are.
Oh, so this is atypical then.
I think they're just around.
Okay. You grew up here your whole life, or?
No, I'm a recent posting. I grew up in Hermida.
Oh, how recent?
Within the last couple months.
Okay. And so it wasn't like this yesterday either? Fishing vessels went out?
I think some of them might have gone out.
Anything strange of the town or anything? We're just stopping by.
According to my notes, Vasra is operating at maximal efficiency.
That's good to know. Like I said,
excuse me, I do have to insist upon inspecting your ship.
Yes, of course.
All right, and he starts walking towards the Wayfinder, the Wide Lake.
If you're looking at Lichen, after he passes me, I rolled my eyes so hard.
Tell me, what is your business here in Vasra? And you see that he has rolled a new page on his scroll and is writing down everything you're telling him.
Please tell me he has his own shorthand.
Yes, he does.
We're just re-equipping real quick. Might pick up another crewmate if anyone's interested in town. That's
Wonderful. If you're interested, check the Rusty Trident, and he points at the long, low building with a trident on the front. That's our local watering hole, and sometimes if there are sailors or dockhands that are looking for adventure, they may congregate there.
Okay.
So he just goes on the ship. Are y'all just giving him the run of the place? What?
Unless Lichen says otherwise, Tam is just watching him and just kind of mechanically make some insight checks as to what his motive may be.
All right.
But as long as he seems, I think Tam has seen bureaucrats, has seen pencil pushers before, so he has largely categorized this person in that way. But if he shows something off color, it's game on.
Yeah, make a insight check.
Ooh, 17 plus 5, so that's 22.
Yeah, he seems pretty normal, average bureaucrat type of guy.
Mm-hmm.
He's very thorough.
Okay.
I mean, he probably spends at least an hour and a half going over the boat, and he keeps remarking, "What fine craftsmanship! Where's this timber from?" Just all kinds of stuff like that. Tell me, this cargo hold does not seem as large as the typical cargo ships that dock here. Are you on a special errand? And he's just kind of just inane bureaucratic stuff. When he sees the mirror, he's like, "Wow, this is a fine piece of craftsmanship. Tell me, where did you come by this?"
As he's spending a lot of time looking at the mirror, mechanical question.
Yep.
Can anybody say the command word?
I don't think so. Let me check.
Because Tam is about to be like, "Oh yes, it's the fairest," and then duck out of the way. Craftsmanship, and he goes.
I think it's not attunement, so anyone who says a command word can activate or deactivate the mirror.
As we're on the ship, are you giving him the tour, or am I kind of...
I'm giving him the tour, but I'm assuming you're kind of right behind.
Yeah, I would be in major domo type.
And I feel like even if he is paying a lot of attention to the mirror, it is in the captain's quarters. And once he does a thorough look, I'm gonna try to get him out. Hey, these are actually the captain's quarters. You're welcome to do a quick look, but if you don't mind, I like my privacy, and that mirror's for me because I like to look good.
Yes, of course. As captain, one cannot be too careful in stewarding and establishing the sartorial reputation in front of his crew. So I commend you, sir.
Thank you.
I think every time he rattles off some of those phrases, Tam just shrugs, oh. And then, having been around officers like this, you keep rolling and I don't like it.
Yeah.
Just making that for the record.
Well, he does not notice you rolling your eyes,
okay,
I'll
good.
say. Your crew is very attentive and responsible. I must commend you. And he writes a little note, and he tears off a little piece, and he hands it to you, and it says, Writ of Achievement. Well-organized ship.
Well, I thank you, Mr. Sanchez. I appreciate it.
That is embossed with my notarized stamp of approval.
Well, thank you. I'm sure the rest of my crew will be very much appreciative.
He chats for a few more minutes, and then he says, well, everything here seems to be in order. If you need me, I will be in my office. And he walks back up the pier, scuttles back up the pier, and disappears into his office.
Only career bureaucrats scuttle like that.
Yeah. Honestly, most of the time, people in charge of docks don't normally act like that. He said he was new, and it kind of shows a bit, you know? I'm assuming you must be used to this kind of thing, though, and...
Yeah, there's pencil pushers, there's upwardly motivated individuals, Tam says with massive eye roll.
And you're not like that? You have no desire to
Not at all.
upward mobility?
Nope. That's honestly why I'm still where I am in the army. My effort, my work speaks for itself, but I'm not particularly desirous of more influence or more power. When Falaria made her way to the capital, to the court, she invited me to go, and I said no, didn't want to go.
Burgen is there too. And Burgen's like, what about you, Lichen? Do you ever aspire to advance in life?
Honest, Burgen.
Have it made in the shade?
Honestly.
Become a king? Live like a king, maybe?
King of the sea, maybe?
Okay, yeah, I would. Sit on a beach somewhere and drink juice from papayas.
To be honest, I've never thought much about it. I never even thought I'd make it to captain, so this in and of itself is something new for me. I think I just never want to be caught and captured and tied down somewhere where I don't want to be.
Yeah, I just want to cook. I have a dream that I could cook for kings and emperors and well-known people from all the world over.
Burgen, I think I've said this to Tam, but I don't think I've actually said it to you outright. You are the best chef I've ever had on a ship, by far.
He blushes.
Doesn't even come close.
Roll an insight check.
7.
Like,
You notice him blushing. It's a funny thing because he knows that you're right, but he's also still blushing. He's like, oh, Captain, you don't have to say that. I'm sure you've had better meals, Captain. Yeah, and he just sort of mumbles and scuffs his feet. And,
No, not at all. And I know you said you wanted to cook for royalty, so if becoming king of the sea is what I need to do to keep you as my chef on my ship, I think I'll try my hand at it.
that is amazing.
Well, I think you do a great job, sir.
Is the guy out of earshot at this point?
Yes.
But you want to get her out of the mirror and go ashore, or how do you want to do this?
I think maybe as we're finishing up the docking and the checking in process, do we see any evidence of the wanted posters for her? Any evidence of that?
No, as you look around, there is no indication that. I mean, really, there's no presence that you notice of any Admiralty officials at all,
Other than
except for the harbor master.
Mr. Sanchez. I mean, we can get her out and cover her up. I mean, she might throw a weight around. I don't know.
That's fine by me.
All right, Captain, get her out of the mirror.
Fairest.
You see,
I can't believe that's what we made this word. It's fine.
over the table, there's still time to change.
No, there's not. No, there's not. We're locked in.
Locked into Ferris. All right. Smoke and fog billows out of the mirror, and when it clears, standing there is Admiral Cassian, and she stretches, and she says, "Oh yes, thank you for getting me out of there. I actually got a really good night's sleep in there, but I'm also not sure how long it's been. Has it been a week? How long has it been?"
It's only been the evening.
Oh, okay, wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, where are we?
Vasra.
Ah, yes, of course. Good idea. I don't think that there will be as much scrutiny upon our presence here.
Yeah, I think we're already docked. We already paid the fee. There's potential inn kind of bar area that we can go. Maybe we can buy a room and you could just hole up there. I think we're gonna get the ship up and out of the water for a bit. And this is you mentioned something about a mine over here, right? And you're thinking that might hold some weight over the mayor. Is that right?
Yes, the admiral who serves as the governor of Hamida. My intelligence report suggests that he has sunk large amounts, not just of his personal wealth, but also aspects of the treasury of Hamida into investing in this mine. I'm not quite sure what's going on, but something seems fishy, and it may be that whoever has turned him against me is using this as blackmail or leverage against him. So if we could recover the evidence of his malfeasance, or perhaps forged evidence of his corruption, we would hope potentially be able to turn him back to the ally that he used to be.
Do you think that you and your men would be safe here in this town, somewhat out of the way? We've been here an hour because of some rubberneck over there, but we don't see any Admiralty presence. I mean,
She says, yes, I've never been here before, and so I don't believe that anyone would recognize me. Certainly not if I just dressed in the attire of a normal sailor on shore for leave.
All right, so maybe we just all go in and
Let's change what you're wearing, because I'm assuming she's still in.
Yeah, she's still in
Admiral garb.
Yes. Yeah, she was wearing not like her official admiral's uniform when she was hiding in the sewers, but she was wearing nice clothes, and she can change into like
not nice clothes.
Extra clothes that are just on the ship.
Lycan reaches for his super nice one-armed coat and then thinks of what Tam said and is like, I just got it. And instead reaches past it and grabs just his much older, rattier, but well-worn,
Yes.
coat.
His two-armed
sailor
coat.
And you're giving it to her?
No,
Or no, that's what you're
I'm
wearing.
keeping that. I'll
Okay.
offer my nicer one-armed one to her if she's interested in
She
it.
says, thank you very much, Captain Bartholomew, but I don't believe that would fit me. She's much smaller than you.
You might, you could go check with Penelope. She might have something that will fit you a little better.
Yes, that's a good idea. And she goes off, and you hear Penelope loudly greeting her and sort of clapping her on the back, and eventually y'all get set and go ashore.
I guess everybody's going ashore.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think Tam would probably have, going into town, put his hood up, maybe try to cover his elven ears, and just kind of try to stay out of the line of sight.
Once everyone's off the ship, I'll tap my medallion.
Mm-hmm.
Wayfinder, if you don't mind, no one's on the ship right now. Try to keep a record if anybody does try to come on at all.
Indeed.
Even if it's one of our crew, let me know.
I will record that information for you, Captain.
Thank you, Wayfinder.
So how many of us are there?
So there's the two of you and Burgen. Then there's Sel and Penelope. And I think that we had said that there was 4 or 5 other crew just from your old ship. In addition to that, I believe that Admiral Cassian has 2 of her sailors with her.
Okay.
So that's,
10-ish?
yeah, around 10, 11 people.
Okay.
I'll reiterate to Penelope, because I think last session I told her. Now remember, while we're doing what we need to do in town, any of the crew want to go their own way, pay them, no hard feelings. If they want to stay on, there's a chance we might be running back to the boat at a pretty short notice. And so if they want to be with us, stay in town.
Yeah, she says, I'll let them know, Captain, but I gotta tell you, you keep giving them outs, and these folk keep not wanting to take them. So I'm afraid you might be stuck with these crewmates.
Penelope, that's completely fine. I haven't been given many outs in my life, so I just want to make sure that they get as many as they can.
I understand, and we appreciate it. Just want you to know that we're with you, Captain.
Lycan has a weird reaction to that and just kind of turns and keeps walking.
Admiral Cassian will catch up to you, and she'll say, if we are to stay at the inn for a few nights, I can pay for the rooms for our crew as a gratitude for the ways that you saved me.
I'll tell you what, to get better favor with the crew quicker, because not all of them met you yet, we'll cover the rooms. It's not a big deal. You cover the rounds while we're in town.
She agrees, and
maybe a little bit of the food, a couple appetizers here and there.
she says, yes, of course.
Ooh, tapas.
I love a good appetizer myself. I was rolling insight for her, and she rolled pretty low, so she doesn't realize what she's agreed to, but you should roll an insight check.
15.
Admirals are pretty wealthy, so she might be paying a little bit more than she's expecting, but she can definitely afford it. She's not going to be, put out by this. So are y'all heading straight to the tavern?
I think so, because probably don't want to keep her on the streets any longer than we have to if we can help it.
Cool.
Bodyguard her up.
Go past the harbor master's office. There are curtains there that are drawn. You go past, and there's a few huts here, and then you have to walk past this stone building with a dome to get to the tavern. And as you get closer, make religion checks.
Okay.
Ooh.
I believe that is it's an 18 for old Tam.
Sweet.
18.
You guys both recognize this is a temple to Nima, who is known as the Lady of Storms and is the goddess of the sea and oceans and storms and winds and weather. It's pretty plain, it's pretty simple, but both of you are familiar with the clerics of this goddess. There are temples to Nima in coastal villages, and especially a fishing town like this would certainly have something like this. So as you're walking by, you notice that it's worn, it's old, it's not very nice. It's sort of plain. Her sigil is a whirlpool set in the bronze shield, as you see now. There are some windows, but they're panes of glass covering them, and you can't really see inside. It seems dark in there. Make perception checks for me.
Based on sight.
Hearing.
Ooh, 17.
5.
It's pretty quiet coming from there. You do hear what sounds like someone's talking to themselves inside the temple.
I think just as we pass and knowing what is probably going to go on in the tavern, Tam would maybe, Captain, I'm going to go check out the temple and I'll join you in a bit.
Okay. Holler if something happens.
Oh, I will.
All right.
So you guys head past the temple and move towards the tavern, the Rusty Trident. As you, Tam, head to the temple, are you just like opening the main doors?
I'll just kind of stop and wait outside and listen. If it sounds like somebody's in there talking or, to themselves or just talking, I'll just stop and listen.
Make another perception check.
Okay. Ooh, 14.
You can't make out a ton of the words, but it sounds like an old man grumbling to himself.
Okay.
There's just one voice.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't sound like he's really talking to someone or to something. It's not like he's praying. He's just sort of like...
Yeah, I will bow my head towards the sigil and open the door and
So
go
as
inside.
you go to try to open it, it is locked.
It's locked. I'll call out, Captain, this door's locked, and I'll just maybe wait a moment and I'll bang on the door.
Before you do the first bang on the door, your presence was noted, and your calling out was noted, and the door opens just a little bit, just a crack in the door, and you see there's 3 or 4 chains on this other side of the door, and you see a single eye appear, and the eye says,
Who goes there?
Hello.
Who bids entrance to the Temple of Nina?
Hello, Grandfather. My name is Narse, and I happen to be a cleric of Hachiman.
Ye be a man of the faith?
Of a faith, yes, sir.
Do ye be from this village?
No, sir.
he closes the door, and you hear... He says,
Quickly, come in.
Tam will kind of wait, raise a finger, hang on a minute, and just holding pattern, and then I'll go inside.
Cool. You walk inside. He closes the door, and as your eyes adjust to the gloom, you notice it's pretty dark in here. There's some candles lit. There's some torches. There's some pews. Several of them have been shoved aside, and there's a bedroll on the floor.
Grandfather, are you living here?
It's not safe everywhere in the town.
And you notice this is a tiefling. He has red skin. He is old.
Okay.
He has gray, just an unkempt mass of gray hair and a gray beard. He has scars crisscrossing his face. He is dressed in fisherman's garb, and you see hanging from his neck a pendant with a whirlpool on it. You see scars running from his shoulder down even onto his calves. There's what looks to be the imprint of a bite scar that reaches from his knee to his shoulder. And you see his left hand and his left leg are both gone. He has a peg leg, and he has a hook on his hand. And he says,
My name be Araxus Cold Claw. Welcome to Vasra. I have tended this shrine for many a year, and I indeed am living out of it at the moment.
You said it's not safe.
Indeed.
We've just come
Evil
here.
spirits seem to be afoot. I'm not quite sure, but most of the townsfolk have been, I believe, possessed.
Is this guy just nuts? Can I make an insight
yeah,
check?
make an insight check.
Ooh, 9.
Tough to say.
Tough to say. Possessed? How? Are they strange things happening? Are they... We've noticed there's not a lot of people around.
On the first part, they rarely go out fishing anymore. And that be strange enough in and of itself, but we've seen strange happenings things. Just yesterday, there were a two-headed fish that washed up on shore. Indeed, I saw the moon rose and it was red one night. I've seen shadows flitting about in the night, and I've been doing my best to keep them from getting in here to this holy place.
And that, he points, and not only are all these locks but all the windows, he's put blankets over them, and there's other doors off of this temple. He's stuffed blankets in the cracks of the doors so that they're airtight, nothing, he thinks some kind of ghost won't be able to get through.
All right, grandfather. I'm gonna go, but if I come back and I'm myself, I'll say Hachiman's pants.
Yes, very clever. None of these ne'er-do-wells or whatever evil forces might be creating the gloom amongst this village. I don't think that they would think to say that. And I will respond by saying Nima's trousers. And that way you'll know that it's still me, and not either someone who's been replaced or some sort of doppelganger, or indeed that I maybe even have been possessed.
I certainly hope not, and you take care of yourself, and maybe I'll be back later, okay?
Indeed. You take care as well, young man.
All right.
Even though you're probably older than him.
Definitely, I think. I mean, Tam just kind of lets himself out, comes out. That guy's nuts, but Captain in your ear, he says there's a lot of possession going around. He seemed afraid. I don't think that's what's going on. There's not a lot of people around. Maybe there's a more normal explanation, but just be aware. I'm certainly aware, and I'm gonna be...
Do you sense anything? You're a little bit more attuned to that kind of stuff than I am.
Can I just make a general, religion or arcana
Yep.
check just to kind of see what's going on? Ooh. Let's see.
Absolutely. Make a check.
What would you like me to make?
What are you trying to figure out?
I'll just do religion.
Yeah.
Is there a having just come out of an underground area where there was a horrible temple to this evil god, just
Yeah.
any vibe similar to that?
No.
With a 9, by the way.
Oh, with a 9. You don't get any bad vibes.
Okay.
I will say, just by looking, while there were plenty of weird things in the temple, everything to do with the iconography of Nima and sort of the tending to the actual duties of the temple seemed to be pristine.
Gotcha.
There's no desecration, nothing weird that you could tell going on.
All right. So definitely 1 in the he's nuts column.
Yes, perhaps.
All right, off we go. That guy's... we're not going to find any help in there.
He thinks there's possessions going on?
That's what he says.
Has he seen anything?
He talked about a red moon, which startled me a bit, and shadows flitting about, but until I see something a bit more concrete than that, I'm just going to chalk it up to he's an old man.
Does red moon mean anything?
Make a religion check.
10.
So, I don't think that I've said this to y'all before, but there are actually 3 moons
What?
that orbit this
What?
place. They all just look like regular moons. They're not red normally. You have heard stories that on the eve of terrible events that a moon rises and it's red for some reason, but you're not quite sure. None of you have seen it, and you're also did that really happen, or is that just
Yeah.
people kind of embellishing?
Is it
Yeah.
a wives'
Telling
tale?
tales.
Okay.
Yeah, again, I'm taking what he said with a large helping assault, but I at least wanted to pass the word.
Fair enough. We'll keep our eyes out. We'll make our rest of the way up
Cool.
to the
You guys
to the inn
head
and
into
pub.
the tavern. It's also fairly empty in here. There's probably seating for 50, but there's about 7 or 8 people in here. 4 or 5 just what look to be local, just sort of, it's about lunchtime, so some are having food, some are having a early start to a drinking time. There is a human man who looks to be in his late 30s, standing behind the bar with a big bushy mustache. And then there is a group, there's a human, a hobgoblin, and a cloud elf sitting at a table in the corner.
Make my way over to the bartender.
Hello, my name is Rico, and I'm the bartender here. Are you and your friends looking for accommodation?
Yeah, we are, Rico. How's it going?
Very. It is going passing well, I must say. The weather is nice out.
Can I insight check him? Feels kind of robotic-y to me. 12.
The weather's like fine.
It's okay, I
It's
guess.
okay. I mean, it's not like great.
Tam has just kind of posted up near the door and is trying to catch the guy with the mustache's eye. And if he does, he just kind of twirls his handlebars.
Because you have a handle, you have a mustache as well. So it's Rico's the one he's talking to. Who
Oh,
has
is
mustache.
the okay? Sorry,
That's
I
the
missed that.
bartender.
Gotcha.
Yes. So are you still trying to do that?
Oh yeah.
Rico sees you, clocks it, and he turns and says, "What is your friend trying to communicate to me?"
What? Look over at Tam.
Tam's got his finger, still twirling one of the mustaches, and he kind of puts it down. And he goes, "I'm just, appreciating your facial hair there, Sir Rico."
And he pats his face. He's like, "Oh yes, of course. Thank you. Would you like accommodations?
Yeah.
Would you like food? We are now serving our lunch menu."
So I'll go ahead and cover the rooms right now. How many do you think we need? Like 3, 4?
Say 4, and can I make an insight check on him too?
Yeah.
Now that he's
Can I get 4 rooms?
Yes.
ooh
We have plenty of accommodations.
19.
He's definitely acting kind of weird. You're not sure if it's like there's something malicious going on or if he's just really weird and awkward.
And Tam would not really get the difference.
You're not sure.
How much for 4 rooms for 2 nights?
It's going to run like 1 silver per room per night, so 8 silver.
I'll give him a single gold piece for the time being.
Perfect. With this, I'll tell you your first round is on the house. Can I get you water or wine or ale?
Tam just says, ale for me, please.
Indeed. And he goes and starts filling. Everyone else makes their order and goes and finds some seats. And Admiral Cassian goes up, gets the key to her room, and goes up to the room. And I'm gonna lay low for a little bit. I trust you to do what needs to be done. And she leaves a couple more gold with you to cover any other rounds.
Hang on, don't have your men go with you initially. You can send them back down, but just
Sure.
check everything out real quick.
Cool. Yeah. She'll take them up there and.
When I turn away from the bartender, I want to cast Detect Magic,
Okay.
and then just make my way around the bar.
Sweet. Make a perception check for me.
As he's doing that, I think Tam would have slowly gone towards the other table with the cloud elf, especially.
Okay.
17.
Cool. With 17, nothing in this bar seems magical except you get a few pings off of the group in the corner. The group with
That I'm walking
Yes,
towards.
there's a human wizard, or a human, a hobgoblin, and a cloud elf. As you get closer, you notice that the human is wearing robes. You can tell just by the way he looks, he's not from these parts. He has darker skin and a close cropped head of hair, and he has sort of these tan robes, and he's holding a staff with a gem set on top of it. The hobgoblin is wearing chainmail, and he has sets of knives and daggers stuck into harnesses. He also has a sword and shield slung across his back. And the cloud elf is wearing leather armor for the most part and is bearing an amulet it's a circle, and there's 2 crescents set onto the circle that are facing away from one another. Make a religion check.
Religion check. 15.
The cloud that is a symbol of Orion, who is one of the gods. He's the Lord of the Moons. Chance of trickery, of twilight, all those kinds of things.
How do I feel about cloud elves? What's the general relationship between?
So wood elves have always been like the younger brother to the cloud elves. Like the cloud elves at one point basically ruled the world. They had this rivalry with the sun dwarves.
Right, because we've seen some of that in some of these videos.
They were rivals with the sun dwarves, and eventually when the sun dwarves disappeared, the cloud elves kind of like, until the coming of the tyrant, they were the primary, it eventually transitioned from them versus the sun dwarves to them versus the admiralty. And the cloud elf kingdom actually still exists. It was the one power that was basically completely untouched by the coming of the tyrant, because the cloud elves live on these enormous floating islands, like an island the size of Australia that is just floating a mile above the ocean. And so, I mean, yeah, like think Avatar, James Cameron Avatar, Blue Aliens, floating islands, that kind of high fantasy nonsense floating island. That's where the Cloud Elves are from. So in your experience, best case, Cloud Elves are kind of snooty and arrogant, but mean well because they think that they know best. And worst case are horrible tyrants who think that they know best, and they're like, if everyone would just like bow down to us, then like we could solve all the problems. Why wouldn't you bow down? We're gonna kill you. And this is a female Cloud Elf as well.
Oh.
Look there, Irenaeus and Garrick. Looks like one of my woodland kin has come a-calling. What are you doing here, tree lover?
Tam narrows his eyes, and Lichen, you can kind of see him steel himself, and he says, "We just got into town. I was actually going to ask you the same thing, Cloudy."
Oh, that's a good one. Never heard that one before. Don't get your pants in a knot. We're just here, adventuring, looking for a spare bit of gold, spare bit of metal.
The human puts his hand up and says, "Peace, peace. Eliana, you're always so talkative and so mean to the new people that we meet. My name is Irenaeus. It is good to meet you. And this fearsome-looking fellow," you see the hobgoblin just sort of nods. His arms are crossed, but he doesn't speak. But the human says, "This is Garag Ichkavar. He is my companion, and so is Eliana, it must be said."
Tam just says, "I'm Narse, and this is my captain. We just got into port, and how long have you lot been here?"
"Oh, we've been here for about a week. We chartered a boat here from the colonies. We were commissioned to rid the hills about a day's journey west of here from, evidently there was some sort of outbreak of some dire wolves or some such, and we took care of them, and now we're waiting here to charter a course back."
Has anything weird been going on?
"No, not particularly. I suppose it's a strange little seagoing town, but I haven't noticed anything strange."
Tam just kind of nods and then steps back a little bit, kind of having a successful social interaction, and now will cut his losses and step back.
Did you say your name? Did you give your name to them?
I gave my fake name of Narse.
Narse.
Oi, Narcy, do you want to come and have a drink with us? We've been trying to get these locals to play cards and dice with us, but they're no good at it.
Tam, without turning, just kind of looks over his shoulder and says, "Not at the moment. We've got some loose ends to tie down, and maybe later."
All right, aye. We'll be here.
And they just go back to talking amongst themselves.
While I'm doing my rounds, can I make a note of what magical things popped up on them?
So they have a couple of healing potions. The wizard's staff is magical. The amulet is magical. They're not magic items, but these are clearly their spell focuses that they use to cast spells. However, there is a ring that the Cloud Elf is wearing that seems to be magical, and one of the daggers in a sheath at the hobgoblin's shoulder is magical as well.
Okay, I'll just take a note. So I'm making my way around the bar, and then I'll catch up with Tam as he kind of steps back. You talk to him? How'd it go?
It went. Cloud elves are such. They've all got a stick up their bum about something, and this one's no different. She's something with an E, Eliana. She seems. You're the talker, honestly. I'm just. I wanted to see if they seemed as weird as the bartender.
Why are they here? They don't look like they're from here at all.
Adventurers. They say that the wizard, the dark-skinned fella, says they were hired to get rid of some dire wolves up in the hills. And honestly, if you want to pry into that or see, maybe try to pay them. Again, that's just not my forte. I got out of there as fast as I could.
Yeah. Let's just see if they approach us next then. You said they were here for a job, and
yeah. And
what
she
they're
did
waiting,
ask if I wanted to play cards.
They're waiting to leave, or
yeah, trying to go back, not get out like they've got to escape, but they've done their job and they're gonna go.
Who hired them? You know?
I don't know.
Okay.
If you want to play cards with them or something, I'm sure they I'm sure they'll talk to you, and they would have talked to me, but I'm just not going to be good at talking. Also, I told him my name is Narse, just in case words got weird.
Fair enough. Alright, Narse. Alright, I might check on that later, but, so what are our next steps right now? Well, because we need to make our way to the mine, right?
It
I mean,
might-
that's the only thing. I think that's what we need to do.
Tam is not drinking the ale, by the way. Just like sniffing it. Does it seem normal?
Make a investigation or perception check.
We will go with perception because that's slightly better. 14.
It seems normal. It seems like average quality ale.
Okay. The whole that guy, the bartender being weird, coupled with the older man, the older tiefling saying people are possessed. Tam's not. He is inching back away from this guy's just crazy, and so we'll just kind of settle back. I mean, we're here to maybe investigate these mines. Those folks may know something about them. They may have some information. Again, I just thought that you might be the one to talk to them more than me. I'm not, and one of them's a girl. That's a lot of it, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
I feel like at this point,
You did good though. I kept an ear out. I heard.
yeah, it was exchanging facts.
Also, I gotta ask, tree lover, cloudy, are those like insults for y'all?
Sort of. I kind of panicked. I don't know. I mean, we're wood elves. We do like trees, but it's not necessarily an insult. It's punching down. Really, is what it is.
Okay.
I mean, I think she was trying to get
Geographically. Because, they live on the islands
Yes,
in the sky.
yes. Another example of punching down. Thank you, Burgen.
I was just trying to be helpful.
Bergen, I gotta ask, do you ever eat other people's food?
Yes, quite a lot.
Okay, let's be honest, it's not good.
Well, it would be rather impolite for me to comment upon that. Everyone has room to grow.
It's your craft, though.
Indeed.
I know a bad sailor when I see him. There's nothing wrong with noticing that.
That's true, but I suppose that the stakes are a little bit higher if one is a bad sailor.
Is there a cook you look up to, Bergen?
He thinks for a minute, and he says, "Now that you mention it, there was a dwarf cook who I've heard. I've never actually had his cooking or seen him, but he was famous and he travelled around the lands, and he cooked on all of the 5 continents. He was reported to be amazing. I heard once that he even cooked for a dragon and convinced the dragon, just by virtue of the tastiness of his food, to let him and his friends go. How about that?"
That's who is this? I've never heard of this.
His name is Gurek Firebeard.
Gurek Firebeard.
I've heard some of his fans called him Guy Fiery.
Oh no!
We can cut that. We can cut that if you want. We can cut that if you want.
It's got to stay.
Oh man. Guys.
Oh. Tam is just nodding.
All right. Well, we got a round for everyone, and we got some food for everyone too. Bergen, if you don't mind, you notice things with food a little bit more. Would you mind just extra checking the food based on what Tam told us that old priest was saying, and that how this bartender's acting right now? There might very well be something happening in this town right now, and I don't know if it's in the food or the water. I know at one point we thought maybe the ale that was going to the mayor might have had something laced in the bats that they were giving him, but
Bergen's like, "Yeah, of course. I'll go talk to the bartender and see what's up." And you see him go, and they talk back and forth for a little bit. And instead of him coming back, he goes into the kitchen and doesn't come out for a while.
nice.
And then he comes out with like this big pot of stew and a couple loaves of bread. He says, "It turns out that their cook was more than happy to let me step up and do a bit of the culinary legwork. So here I've made this stew with some mutton and potatoes and tomatoes and some nice bread with rosemary, and I hope that you enjoy it. And I can confirm that it has not been tampered with and is perfectly healthy and safe in every way."
Well, that's good.
I'll go ahead and divvy out portions or whatever, and then I'll get 3 servings on a bigger platter and make my way over to the adventuring party.
Cool. You see that they're actually have, each of them has a tankard of ale. They have a map rolled out. There's markings on a few places on the map. It looks to be a map of the region. As you walk over to them, you see the cloud elf woman who, she has this just, I mean, her skin is like sort of pale blue, and her hair is white, like completely white, and it's pulled into this like long braid that goes down her back. The hobgoblin, you notice, he has a scar over his eye, but he also has like a mustache and a goatee. And the human man, Irenaeus, he has just his wizard's robes, and he has a spell book on the table now. It's thick, and there is a sigil of an eye and a hand with 5 fingers on it, sort of embossed into the leather cover with gold. And
does that mean anything?
Make a I think history check.
Okay.
Or arcana check.
I'm gonna go with Arcana, probably, yeah. 17.
Cool. With Arcana, you would recognize this as a sigil of a country called the Majocracy. It's a place on the far side of the world, so this is really far from home, completely on the other side of the ocean. The Majocracy of the 5 Oaths is what it's called. And
Okay.
you presume the 5 fingers on the hand refers to the 5 Oaths, and you're not sure what they are exactly. It's pretty far away, but you've heard of a land that is ruled by mages.
Mm-hmm. Based on that, could I... Well, let me talk to him for a bit first.
Sure. The cloud elf sees you coming first because she's kind of always like looking around, scanning the room. She's a little more like hyperactive, I guess. The other 2 are more chilled. And she says, "Oh, the Weird Elf's friends coming to see us. What's that you got there? It smells divine."
It is our chef. I don't mean to brag, but our chef from our ship is one of the best I've ever had. And
You've got a chef? Irenaeus, how come we don't have a chef? Garrick, how come you don't... Do you know any chefs?
And he's like,
You're a lucky lad, aren't you?
very. But he has a tendency to make a little more than he needs to a lot of the time. But saw you weary travelers over here. Thought I'd sit for a spell and share a bowl, share some bread. And you guys look well traveled and also not from around here too much. Neither are we, but
the wizard says, "Indeed, we appreciate your hospitality. Thank you. You're welcome to sit with us. We are from, as you say, all over."
I'll sit down, and then can I try to make a note of the markings that they have on the map, the locations?
Are you trying to do it stealthily?
Figure it's out on the table. I don't know how stealthily I have to be about
Sure,
it. As
yeah.
I'm like putting the bowls in front of them.
Yeah,
around the table.
make a perception check.
I think that's only a 6.
Okay.
Oh, no.
You know the places that they have gone to. They've been to, it looks like, a place on Arasha. They've been to many cities on the coast of Arasha. This is just this region, so beyond that, you don't see anything. That's what, with a 6, that is what you discern.
So you guys are an adventuring party, is that right? That's what Narcine was telling me, and I'll start eating my stew as I'm talking.
Yeah, it tastes very good. It's spicier than Bergen's usual food. You're like, give me a Constitution saving throw, actually.
17.
All right, you are not affected by it, but you recognize, this is spicy. Garag, the hobgoblin, just has a spoonful, and then he his eyes get big, and he just starts shoveling it down. Irenaeus has some, and he blows on it and takes a sip and talks for a little bit. Eliana takes a big spoonful, the cloud elf, and you see her eyes immediately start to water, and she cannot handle the spice. Sorry, what did you ask them again?
You guys are an adventuring party, is that right? That's what Narcine was telling me.
The hobgoblin goes, he's trying to talk with his mouth full. The wizard says, yes, that's correct. We are adventurers. We have just completed a contract. We were hired by the governor of Hermida to come and deal with the direwolf problem. Now we've finished, and we're just waiting passage on from here. It turns out that this port of call is a bit slower than we were led to believe.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like much makes its way out here, and it even looks like a lot of the ships they normally have here are kind of just beach for the time being.
Yes, I'm not sure why.
Eliana, are you okay? Can you not handle this? Narcian loves this stuff.
No, It's quite all right.
And she takes another big spoonful, and you can almost see steam like pouring out of her ears.
I'll not let any tree lover out to me.
And she keeps like just suffering through this. I'm gonna make a con save for her. She almost has the bowl completely finished, and she's like,
Excuse me, lads, I think I have some business I need to take care of.
she leaves.
Oh, if you want seconds, just ask Narcian. You already met him. Just ask
She's
him.
out the door, like running.
As I turn, if I catch Tam looking at me, I'll wink at you, and then I'll turn back to the other two guys.
Oh, I have been zoned into the conversation.
You said I couldn't help but notice we actually just came from Hermita a couple nights ago. You said the mayor hired you?
Tam, as you say, we came from right here. Tam just goes, "Oh my gosh."
Yes, that's right. Well, I believe the governor is his title. Governor Yolan Urano, who I think is an admiral in the Admiralty as well. Yes, he hired us to... There was a job posting on the mainland, and we took it and have come here, and lo and behold, there were some dire wolves troubling in one of the outlying villages, and we were able to take care of them.
Well, man, how many dire wolves were there? Enough to get an adventuring party to come out for? That seems like
Yes, there was
quite
quite
a
a
bit.
lot. Well, it was an outlying village that I believe it wouldn't have behooven them to send a squad of the guard or the town watch out to try to deal with it. And so I think there was about, what would you say, Garrick, 11 or 12? The hobgoblin nods through his mouth full of soup. He's taken what's left of the cloud elves
Nice.
and is now...
So how long have you guys been out here since you got sent out to do that work exactly?
We arrived about a week ago, about 8 days ago.
Okay, doing like mental math. She's been on the run since then already.
Yeah.
Okay, and so that means he was also already kind of acting weird by the time he supposedly sent them.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I will say, he is saying that he found a job posting on the mainland. And so it would have taken them several weeks to go from the mainland to sail here and to go do. So like he was hired, he took the job.
Yeah.
It's been probably closer to half a month or 3 weeks since the job listing was posted, because he didn't get the job directly from the governor. Does that make sense?
Yes. But again, just trying to calendar it.
Yes, he has likely interacted with the governor since he started, according to Admiral Cassian, acting strangely.
And the wanted posters, they've
Yes.
seen those as well. Okay.
But I mean, you're not sure. There's none in this village.
Yeah. You guys are just waiting for passage back to Hermita?
No, actually, we're hoping to head back to the mainland.
Okay. Which mainland in particular? Is there a certain city you're looking to dock in, or?
Well, we'll go really anywhere closer to the coast of Arasha. You see, most of our business and adventuring contacts are sort of scattered across the coast of Arasha, all the way from the colonies down in the south, all the way to the Federation up in the north. And so that encompasses like basically a whole half of the continent.
Stew's really good. Do you guys want more?
Garreg, the hobgoblin, like enthusiastically nods.
Narcian.
You've not gotten that name right one time.
I don't get a lot of people's names right. Narcian, could you get some more stew? And why don't you come join us, knowing that the female elf is now gone?
Tam will get up and bring some more soup.
So these fellas took a job from the mainland, and they came out here, and you guys have been here about a week, you said, but you're looking for passage?
That's right. Yes.
We're here for a little bit. I don't know where we might be going afterwards, and I don't want to get your hopes up, but we might be able to give you passage.
Well, that would be very appreciated on my part. As long as you could get us anywhere to the mainland, we would be much appreciated. We can make our own way from there.
And you said you've been here about a week, right?
That's correct.
On our way in, we heard a couple rumors talking about towns acting a little different. We just got into town. Have you noticed anything?
Not particularly.
And also, and I'll lean in and I'll just be like, the bartender's acting a little weird, ain't he?
Yes, he seems kind of strange. We haven't noticed anything, but I'm also, sleepy fishing towns like this, there's no accounting for the way that they act and behave. It might be that I haven't really thought that much about it. I suppose it might be that they're just they've had a bad harvest of fish, or perhaps the omens have been bad. I'm not quite sure.
Can I insight check him?
Yeah.
Stutter.
Choose your weapon.
Natural one.
Yeah, he definitely he seems aloof and disinterested in what the village is doing, like the way that the town is going. He might just not have noticed something. He might be hiding something, or there might be nothing going on, but you're not sure.
In your time here, have you been up to the mines at all?
Oh yes, we traveled directly past them on our way to and from dealing with those dire wolves. They're pretty nothing to write home about. I've been to a number of mines in my day, and although I will say it seems strange, there just seems to be almost no activity. I've never seen anyone go to or from the mines.
We've been given some information that there might be something going on in the mines, and so that's largely what brings us here, is to investigate that.
Interesting. Can you tell me what you heard is happening?
Just that there was strangeness.
Anything that an adventuring party might be interested in?
Well, as we are also somewhat of an adventuring party, a bit of this, a bit of that.
I see. Yes, of course. Playing it close to the vest. There's wisdom in that.
Have you guys ever done any bounty hunting work? When we were in town, there was a multitude of wanted signs out for a bunch of people. It seems like they're looking for this Lady Cassian. Were you guys seen that? Have you picked up any trails on her? Or are you guys looking? Have you picked up another job yet?
No, we have not picked up any job. I can't say we do go in much for the bounty hunting. It's I know there is some money to be had in it, but we generally have more success just sort of trying to help people deal with their problems, or we've been known to be able to recover lost items. That's kind of some of more of our area of expertise, I guess you could say.
You've been able to recover lost items.
Indeed.
Burgen.
I was half a second behind. I was like, wait,
Burgen scuttles over. I'm saying the word scuttle a lot. He comes over. He says, "Yes.
Okay, now
How can I help?
Now this is.
Would you like more stew?"
This is our chef Burgen. Burgen, this is an adventuring part. Do you guys have a name by chance? You don't have to.
I should have thought of that. Irenaeus says, no, that's actually one of the things that we were talking about. Garrig and I were thinking something like the Falcons or the Golden Falcons or something would be kind of a cool thing, and we could make a little banner and have a mascot even, perhaps. And
I like it.
But Eliana just keeps shooting all our ideas down.
I like it.
She wants us to be the Cloud Falcons, the Cloud Sharks. I'm like, give it a rest,
Tam, when he says give it a rest, Tam just goes, just total derision.
Now, Burgen, these adventures, although it seems, forgive me if this is disrespectful, somewhat new, say that they're talented in finding things.
Bergen does not get what you're hinting at. And he's like, oh, yes, very good. That's wonderful. I myself am somewhat skilled with cooking.
Finding
arts.
things. Did you?
Oh, you're good at finding things.
Did you
That's
lose
wonderful.
something recently, Bergen?
And then he just remembers. Gets a deer in headlights look and says, my cauldron. I don't know where it is. I have to find it. Anyway, would you like some more soup?
Would you gentlemen care for some more soup? And I'm just saying, Bergen, if you want to find it, by all means, but it seems like they might be a little talented in it. He recently lost his cauldron to a thief that stole it from him.
The wizard's like, Master Bergen, I'm so sorry that you lost your cauldron. What sort of fee would you be willing to offer for the return of said cauldron? And Bergen thinks for a second, and he's like, I think I would probably give you everything that I have.
Is my firstborn child acceptable?
How 30 gold? 10 for each?
Bergen's like, I'll give you 350 gold pieces.
I look at Bergen wide-eyed.
And Irenaeus is like, first things first, we got to figure out how we're getting off of this rock. So I think we have some errands that we need to attend to before we can take on another contract, but our home base is in the city of Corva in the Asturian colonies, so if you find us there and you still need help finding your lost item, we might be able to help you with that. But I appreciate your interest.
Fair enough. Last question, and I'll leave you gentlemen to your evening here. I don't want to interrupt too much. We just got in ourselves and could use a good layabout on the land, but couldn't help but notice you have a cloud elf with you. That book looks to be from the Magocracy.
That's right. That's a sharp eye.
And
You must be well-traveled to notice that.
I'm fairly well-traveled as far as the seas and the towns on the seas are concerned. And Garrig, are you from somewhere far off as well? I'm just curious how you all three came together.
Garrett goes,
Here and there. From the coast. Went up and down it. It's all the same to me.
Fair enough.
the wizard will say, yes, we encountered one another as we were dealing with, we sort of came together on this contract to deal with a number of goblins that had taken some hostages in the city of Udamont, way up north. But we dealt with that and figured out we worked together well as a team and have kind of just stuck together since then.
Fair enough. I'll
Eliana comes back holding a tankard full of milk. She has been crying because it's so spicy, because the spicy food was so hot, and she just comes and sits down and sort of pouts a little bit and is sipping on this glass of milk.
I think we're good unless Narnia, you got anything for
gosh.
him? Or we can just leave him.
Tam just gets up and nods and walks away, and then in Elvish says, "It's a bit spicy, isn't it?"
She just narrows her eyes and gives a curt nod and turns back to her friends. And you guys hear Irenaeus saying, they liked the Golden Falcons. They thought it was cool.
That's awesome.
And they just, carry on under their breath from there.
It sounds like we've just got to go check these mines out. I mean,
Yeah.
unless we want to go exploring in town.
Yeah, I didn't mean to kill too much time with them, but
No, it's probably like 1 or 2 in the afternoon at this point. You do know that the mines are a several hours hike or cart ride up the hills.
My idea before I was called over was to be nearby enough to kind of eavesdrop. Can I insight check what they were saying
Yes.
about not being bounty hunters, not doing any of that stuff? That is a 16.
Yeah, with a 16, I'll say you feel confident that they have not taken any bounty contracts here. The 16 is high enough that they're not telling the whole story. There's some aspects about what they're doing here that they have left out of telling you guys.
Okay. I've got to say, I appreciate you carrying on the conversation. I don't trust that lot either.
oh, I don't trust them either.
I don't trust them either. That's why I didn't ask them really to
Kind of overbid on the
Smart.
cauldron thing, because I didn't
Smart,
trust them.
Bergen.
They would probably just keep the
Brilliant.
cauldron for themselves.
Brilliant. I like it. I like where your
It's
head's
too
at.
valuable. It's too valuable.
And Tam, I mean, you already know this about me. It's caused a little bit of friction between us, but I don't really trust anyone. And so me talking to them was more so just to see if they'd slip up. I mean, I wanted them to talk as much. I asked them questions I don't care about. You think I really care about where they're from, how they met? None of that. But it is a little fishy that 3 adventurers that clearly are not from around here just happen to be here when we get here with arguably probably one of the most high-value targets that the Admiralty's after right now. So I just more so wanted to feel them out, and I'm one of the reasons I called you over too is I'm good at talking. I'm good at having people trust me. I'm not too good at knowing when people are smiling through some vicious teeth at me, unfortunately.
So, do we think it's wise to leave our cargo here if we leave, or is everybody going out?
I think we'd be good if we left people here with the cargo. I mean, 4 people were assigned to that cargo specifically, and then we have a couple people that can hold their weight.
Fair enough.
I know, and I'll do a look back at them real quick. Is there any way for us to tell at all? Is it just the 3 of them?
I'll say no one else has come in. You've probably been here for almost 2 hours now. No one else has come in to chat with them, to sit with them.
So, but again, at the end of the day, she's your, I don't want to say responsibility because that sounds weird, but it's your call on her.
I think
On the cargo, my bad. Cargo.
I think if you're all right, if we think it would be all right for us to go, you, me, and Burgen, check out the mines, or maybe Burgen take a rest and Cell comes with us. I thought if it's overland, Cell might be a bit more suited to it. I think as long as we're aware of what we're leaving, as far as a watch goes, and probably make the cargo aware of what's... If anybody's listening to this, like, oh, the cargo is now a person. If everybody's on the same page, I think we'll be all right.
I agree. Yeah, you said that guy was probably a little crazy.
It is. I mean,
I don't know, man. Looking around here, there might be a little more truth to that.
I'm thinking that a bit, but there's no telling. There's magic and creatures and things. This world is a wide and amazing place, but it can also be very, very dangerous. There's no telling what may have come through here. They may be doing something for all we know. Sometimes there's no way to find out unless you put your foot in it. And at this point, I aim to put my foot in it.
Alright, well, we still got enough daylight. You want to try to make it to the mine today?
I can certainly head out. Let's maybe go make sure who's coming and who's staying, and again, just we're all on the same page. In the bit of time we've spent with the Admiral, I think I might trust her a bit more if we want to put her back on the White Wake, or keep her as safe as we can. Honestly, what's the worst thing they're going to do? We've got the stuff we came to get. We're trying to help her, but I mean, this is going to sound terrible, but if she gets captured, what loss is that to us at this point? I'd like to keep her out of harm's way because she says she wants to help, but at the same time, if her choices lead to her getting captured, or...
Well, I think the biggest worry we got with that is she hasn't given us that ring yet. That ring really can't fall into the wrong hands. I know I seemed pretty flippant about that earlier, but we can't let that fall in the wrong hands. That would be absolute chaos.
Glad to see you coming around.
Yeah.
It's nice to see you caring about something.
Yeah. Yeah, we can call it that. We can call it that.
I don't have feelings. You have feelings. Shut up. Can I make a check to see if, just as we're having this conversation, that we're not being eavesdropped upon?
Yeah.
What am I making?
Insight. Perception.
24.
24.
I say rolled a 19 regardless.
Yeah, with the 24, you think the bartender might have overheard some stuff. Doesn't really... He's not reacting to it. He's not like...
Right.
He's not gasping, being like, oh, I can't believe they're talking about this. He's
Right.
just... But he's...
Nearby.
You suspect that he might have heard something. Rico. The bartender.
The bartender with the mustache.
So we should go talk to the cargo. Right? We should go.
We should go see what the cargo thinks.
We should go talk to the cargo a little bit.
Yeah, I think maybe we'll
leave the rest of the crew just to their own devices, so to speak. I think talking with Tam, I would also talk with like Penelope and Cell, just because we seem to be the people with somewhat of abilities, considering we haven't talked about the rest of the crew too much. Everyone just be on the lookout. There's definitely some weird stuff going on in this town, and those three in the corner, they don't really sit right with me or Tam. So keep an eye on the rest of the crew. Not expecting anything to happen, but just in case. We gotta go talk to some cargo. We'll be right back.
So they're like, yep, we'll hold down the fort and keep drinking.
How's Penelope's arm at this point?
It's healing up a little bit. It's still, she's still got it in a sling. I think she fully broke it, so it's not like it's gonna take some time till she's back up.
But she's had like 3 long rests, Nathaniel.
Yes.
All of her HP is back, Nathaniel.
She's also not a player character. Not even a DMPC.
We just pump all healing magic at the end of the day into her right before we fall asleep. It's like the last thing Casspell dropped it.
She just wakes up and has like an 8-pack, and she's like super jacked just from all the healing magic. So yeah, you guys go upstairs and you find the room that Admiral Cassian has found, and she and her sort of henchmen are posted up there hanging out. And everything seems normal. The room seems clean. It's not nice, but it's not bad either. It's like swept. It's not dirty. Not
It's
messy.
a room in a hamlet.
It's a room in a motel. And she says, "Yes, sir. And is there anything to report? I can report that these rooms seem adequate."
We encountered a slightly suspicious group. Just got our hackles up a bit, and this town just not sitting right with us. And we were thinking about heading out in the next bit to go investigate these mines that I don't want to say that you've brought us here to investigate, but that's what we're here to do.
Yes, that's true.
Would you be comfortable being here for the next few days, keeping an eye out for nosy people?
Yes, we can lay low and also keep an eye out for anything that's going on, and perhaps do some nosing of ourselves. I suspect that if there is evidence of wrongdoing, that there may actually be some in the Harbor Master's office. Much of the ore would have been carted down the hill to this point and loaded onto barges and freighters and shipped out from here. And so, seeing and hearing how fastidious of a record keeper the Harbor Master is, surely there must be some evidence, something that we can go off of in his records.
Do you think it would be better to go there first and then investigate the mine itself? Because we've heard from that other group that we're not necessarily trusting, we've heard there's not been much coming and going from the mine.
That would be interesting. From what I've heard, this is actually a very lucrative mine, and I would think that there would be many shipments going out, based on what I know of the situation. We can sort of divide and conquer. How about you lot could go to the mines, and I can throw my weight around, and even if without revealing my identity, and figure out how to get at the records that I want to access. It's up to you, of course.
Well, I mean, if you can keep your identity a secret, that's your skin in the game at this point. I mean, we're not in Hormida, but that's not to say that word can't get out.
I think I can handle myself, Tamarian. And I mean that with no disrespect. I'm very thankful for the ways that you all lot have protected me and guarded me so far. And I know that we're not exactly friends, but I appreciate your concern. And I can accomplish some things if I want to. We'll just say that.
Just a friendly heads up. Most likely those 3 adventurers downstairs have probably seen your wanted poster based on the time scale that they've said where and what they've been doing. I would assume they've probably seen it.
Fair enough, of course.
I don't know about
I will
the rest,
act
but
with the utmost discretion, and hopefully they won't notice me.
And I know you have men with yourself, but it seems that both Tam and I have people on our side that we trust. So if you need any help from our people, check with Sel, which I think you met briefly, and Penelope.
Yes, I appreciate her generosity in loaning me these garments. I will inquire with both of them for assistance should I require it.
Well, thank you, madam, and we'll see ourselves out now.
Cool. So you guys head back downstairs. What are y'all headed for the mines
I
now?
think it's time to discuss load management. Are we gonna shelve Burgen? I think we keep Burgen.
I mean,
we can't break up the
the
dream
buffs
team.
from his food alone are just they're delicious.
That's true.
They're delicious.
The heads-up sandwich.
They're delicious and they're helpful.
Another thing to consider is like the B team, like the people that you're leaving here.
Mm-hmm.
Sel's really the only one who can kind of like stand up in a front line kind of
Yeah,
way. Penelope
not so much.
Yeah,
Is-
backline.
a back line to begin with, and
And she has
one
a
of her
broken
arms,
arm.
she has a broken arm.
Yep.
And then the other crewmen are just kind of sort of, their stat block would be like guard.
General fighters, yeah.
I don't know what to do about this other trio.
What Drew?
The E squad.
The Golden Falcons.
That's
Yeah,
true.
The Golden Falcons.
The Golden
yes.
Cloud Falcons.
Well, that's why I wanted to leave, I guess, as much as we could here, because we think it's only 3 adventurers. If they really did take out, like 11 direwolves or something, they're good. But I mean,
He didn't say it was all at once.
True. But we know we're leaving at least 3 leveled characters or whatever here with her, and then just our crew and her guards. And so I'm hoping that would be enough. I'm actually more worried about the potential cursed possession stuff in the town, but we honestly haven't really seen anything outside of a weird bartender to really give any credit to it.
Well,
so.
and as far as the possession stuff goes, if you want to go talk to Araxis, the old man in the church, he might speak. He was a tiefling. You've talked about things tiefling to tiefling before. I didn't get much help out of him. I think honestly we might be better served to just keep our eyes open and then do some. If we want to do some investigating around here, we can. Or maybe if we really want, we can see if they can stay with him. He was weird, but he was not weird like Bushy Face over there.
I think we just go to the mine for the time being.
figure it out.
Like you said, we really haven't seen anything. It seems a little weird and off-putting, and everyone seems to be on guard already, so hopefully that'll be enough. Maybe maybe we just recommend to them that maybe they keep someone on watch in the nights over the rooms.
Yeah.
And so we'll do that and then head out towards the mines.
Yeah, head out with Burgen.
Cool. So you grab Bergen and you head out. It's getting a little bit darker. It's not evening even, but it's later afternoon, and so y'all head out. There are a few more people on the streets. Make some perception checks for me.
With sight.
Yes, with sight, indeed.
Dirty 20.
30-20.
19.
Hey.
You both feel a lot of eyes on you. More eyes on you than you can see in the streets. And if you scan some of the huts, some of them have windows, you see there'll be some eyes looking at you, and then they'll close the blinds really fast or whatever. You just feel like you're being watched.
And detect magic again as we walk.
Cool. As you guys go, you don't notice anything particularly magical. Although, as you're sort of about to leave town, there is sort of a gentleman who looks to be a fisherman by his garb, who's kind of sitting on a stump by the side of the road, and he says, hello, newcomers. Where be you going?
Gosh, these guys. Tam says, just out for a stroll.
Yes, the terrain around this village is quite lovely.
Just like the weather.
Indeed, it is quite lovely.
Yeah.
You look around and it's just like a field of mud.
What do we do with this? Oh my gosh.
We'll be back.
Well, if I were you, I would just turn around right now. There's not much more beautiful past this.
Oh, we'll take a look around. Are you a keeper of the gate?
Oh, no, I just am sort of hanging out over here.
Cool. I'm gonna walk.
My name is Shem.
Good to meet you, Shem. I'll see you in a little bit.
All right.
Does he make any motion to stop me or anything?
Nope.
On we go.
Cool. You guys head out. What's your marching order?
Tam is in the back, having somewhat learned his lesson.
You guys start walking, and it's just like fields of mud. What trees there are spindly, spiky, creepy-looking trees. They're kind of bare. There's a few leaves here and there. There's not much crops to notice either. There's some tubers and a few onions, but nothing looks kind of weird. As you go, you see there is one field that you do notice an onion that has some weird it looks like a growth on it. It looks kind of gross. But you carry on and trudge on. It'll probably take you you'll probably get to the mines at dusk.
Is it so? I mean, we're going on a road. This is not like a cross-country trek.
No, this is
kind
a
of thing.
road.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like a dirt track, dirt road, and there are deep ruts in it where it seems carts and wagons have worn noticeable wheel tracks.
Does it seem to have been recently traveled at all?
Make a nature or survival check. I'll have Bergen do the same.
Survival. 11.
It's not. It seems like there's some foot traffic. Nothing. It's not a lot. You can't really tell if
Not the activity of a.
it's not
bustling mine.
No, it's not bustling by
Okay.
any means.
Yeah, something's weird. I mean, this whole place is weird. I wonder if we keep realizing we don't even know where to start. Let's just keep going, I guess. Maybe there's something horrible in the mine doing all this weirdness. Maybe they're all just weird.
We don't know anything staying where we're at.
Yeah.
I mean, so might as well just keep doing what we're doing, and maybe we'll stumble upon something.
Have you noticed everywhere we go is weird?
What's weird about Hermita?
They eat onions and fish.
It's good. You didn't even try any.
But it's weird. I didn't say it wasn't good. I said it's weird.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
You did say that.
I mean,
yeah.
we got shipwrecked on an island, and we've got a boat that talks to us. That's very weird.
It's kind of cool, though.
Again, cool, but weird. Not a lot of just normal, hello.
Normal's boring,
It can be very boring, but sometimes
know,
it's nice.
Normal's humdrum.
I mean, even when we went shopping, it was very confusing.
What? Why?
Your coat doesn't have 2 arms on it.
Well, so my armor can my like. What?
Or did you? Oh, you didn't bring the coat is on the ship, right?
See, look at this. It's stiff, and it's one of those like it's almost like if you tried to fit like a football pad in like a leather
Like under a
jacket.
coat.
Just like this isn't fun for me. And it's usually wet. Do you know how much I chafe?
It's true. I'm just remarking. We seem to find a lot of very strange things, and that's new for me. You know, change is one thing, fighting's another thing. I'm learning that maybe I've been stuck for too long, and maybe you're right. Maybe normal is too boring, or it's not. It doesn't change and weird may be good.
Yeah.
I might not always like it, but it's. I mean, we've certainly got the weirdness, that's for sure.
Yeah, we do. And I mean, you're also right in a couple regards. Things can be weird or strange that you're not saying they're bad. It's just, I don't know. You're saying you've been still for a little too long. I think I might have been a little aimless for a little bit too long. It's new. It's different.
Yeah, purpose is not always shackles. I heard you say earlier, you didn't want to be tied down, captured, I think was your word. A purpose isn't a capture, but again, if you get stuck too long, you do get stuck.
Yeah.
You're right. I think maybe we're both going to meet somewhere in the middle. Sometimes you just got to move to the next thing, and then you'll figure it out. One thing that I appreciated about having people in charge was you did what you were told. You took an objective, you did a thing, and sometimes it makes you short-sighted, but at the same time, you get stuff done. You do your best.
Did you never ask why you had to do what they were asking you to do?
Sometimes. Well, part of the reason I've been busted down a few times is I told them where to put it when I didn't want to do it because I didn't think it was right. Or
That was actually going to be my next question. If you'd ever done something you didn't want to do and just did it.
Well, when you take orders, there are some that don't sit as well, and there are some that if you're willing to take a stand on them, you face the consequences. No, that's not happened many times, but generally obedience comes first. Questioning can come during the obedience at times, and sometimes you got to pick your battles.
I used to do things that I didn't want to do, but I don't do that anymore. Anyway,
What is happening? What? Oh my gosh.
We'll tuck that away
Yeah.
for now. Because we don't need to know it right now.
Exactly right. And Burgen, we're gonna get you a cauldron.
yeah, I would love to get a new cauldron. It'd be great.
The cauldron was all that was keeping the big bad that is Burgen from exploding.
All right, well, let's go find out what ore they ore out of this.
Exactly.
mine.
See, let's go. We're gonna get there when we get there.
Knowing our luck, though, it's going to be some type of, like, ore that drains magic.
Yeah, or it like
Strength or-
eats into your skin and turns you into a mule.
Somehow the rock is alive and is going to attack us. Something.
As Nathaniel furiously takes notes. That's also not happening. He's just nodding at us like we're stupid.
So all we think we've gathered right now, people missing, not doing what they're normally supposed to do in the town, talking weird, or hasn't really been going out, apparently.
It would seem not.
Is the mine even in operation? Like, what?
I don't know. I mean, what Lady Cassian
How do mines
said.
work?
I think generally you dig and you find stuff that other people want and you sell it to them.
That's the basic principle, yes. Typically, there are a variety of mechanisms and means by which you extract the ore from the sediment, and you can pass it through a number of purifying processes and then Typically, what is done is that you collect the ore and you send it to a refinery or a smeltery to turn it into ingots, by which it may become metal that is workable.
Are you like a culinary miner?
No, I just happen to know some information. With my bardic training, it was not just in the culinary arts.
I immediately went to culinary minor and being like, what's your major?
Oh my gosh. That would work too. College of Bards.
I minored in culinary studies, and my major was geologic extraction. That's not true.
Yeah.
Jokes.
Oh, okay. What ore, do we know what kind of ore is being mined at this one?
Tam just keeps walking. Nope.
Yeah, not quite sure.
All right, we'll get to the mine.
Yep, we keep going.
Yeah. So you guys continue on. The sun is set. It is dark out. It is very still. You do not hear the hooting of owls. You do not hear the normal night noise that you have come to expect, especially you, Tam, of traveling through the wilderness. It is dead silent. It reminds you of the silence that comes when small forest animals know that there are predators nearby. As you mount up the last hill and you see the entrance to the mine ahead, it's just a kind of a plain entrance to a mine and a cliff face with the sort of like in an old Western movie. There's the cross beam and the wooden stuff, and there's a shack and a warehouse outside and a sign that says Vasra Mines. No entrance unless authorized. But standing in front of the entrance to the mine are 6 hooded and cloaked figures. And as you walk towards them, you notice that their belts, they have knives and clubs and scimitars, some of them. There's one who stands kind of a little bit in front of them, and you see under their hood, their eyes glow with some kind of eldritch power. That figure holds its hand up and says, "Stop. I told you a lot that you shouldn't come here. You should have turned back. Leave now." And they move forward and they begin raising and brandishing their weapons, their daggers.
Do you like to fight?
You know I do.
At that, Tam would start to kind of roll out to the right to provide cover fire.
Can I immediately go into rage and sprint towards him?
That is going to be initiative, and a good place for us to stop
Oh,
our
geez.
session.
Okay, finally,
for the
something,
day.
an answer.
There's some weird stuff
Okay.
going on.
Yeah. this whole place
mine's
is
a
weird.
guess. That's just a guess.
No,
on
it's
me.
a very
I could be
good guess.
wrong.
No,
but
That's
What was your guess again?
essentially, like the people who possibly are taking over or whatever
like
are
pod
just like
people.
mentally connected.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, okay, so the bartender heard something. Then there was a dude at a gate trying to stop us, and now this guy's like, I told y'all to stop. And I'm like, all right.
Let's roll for outro.
Oh, yeah.
Been
To our
rolling
little
so
advice.
good.
14.
Nat 20.
Oh, I
Ooh.
got a 19.
19. So that's me with a 14. Wow. I think this is my 3rd one in a row. Maybe?
Yeah.
My dice finally decided to be
Did
kind
it
to me.
finally
Old
showed
old
up?
man Ben is just the wisest of all of us.
That wraps us up for this episode of Across the Glass Sea. Thanks for adventuring along with us. If you don't mind, give us a like, a follow, a subscribe, whatever you feel like doing on whatever platform you're using to adventure along with us. As always, tell a friend, tell a family member, tell a stranger. Keep listening yourself. And I'm going to leave you with some advice. And that sage advice would be, don't trust strange bartenders with bushy mustaches.